Hello guys, welcome back and welcome to Kumar Consulting. So guys, now this is the first session, and as always I start the first session from introductions. So it is going to be an introduction session where I'll just start explaining what is this SAP and a few other details and all. And hopefully some of you might have already gone through this session, but still, so we'll start now here. So we are going to learn this SAP, right? You guys are going to learn this SAP. Now, so the first thing is, what is SAP here, right? Now, so what is SAP, guys? Now here you can do one thing, like let's suppose if I ask what is SAP. So in that case, if I'm asking something, two things are there. Either you can unmute your audio and then you can answer the question, or else here you can type the answer also. Look at here chat box, right? So here if I'm typing, like let's suppose here the question is there, what is SAP, right? So you can type the answer, or else you can unmute the audio and you can answer the question. So you guys have already seen the video. What is SAP, guys? Tell me. Anyone?
Systems, application, and product.
Good. Good. Okay. And there is one thing here. Look at here, like Suraj is saying that my voice is not audible. Yeah, good. So several responses are there. It's ERP product. Yes, good. So you all are correct, guys. Of course. So here most of the answers, initial answers are like systems, applications, and product in data processing, right? This is the answer, isn't it? Systems, applications, and product in data processing, isn't it? But I'll tell you guys, this is just the full form, right? This is just the full form. So again, what is the correct answer? So of course, the correct answer is also given by multiple people here, and that is called, it's an ERP, right? Of course, it's an ERP. Now, the next question is then, what is ERP? So what is the answer, guys? What is ERP? Tell me, someone. Yes. So I got again few answers. Enterprise resource planning. Yes. Okay. Enterprise resource planning. Good. So, okay. So now here, yes, it is enterprise resource planning. And okay, correct. So you all are correct, guys. It is enterprise resource planning, right? Yes, it is enterprise resource planning. But again, that is also full form itself. So what is the definitions here? Definition of ERP is there in the full form of ERP, right? So look at here. Enterprise means what? What, guys? A business organizations and resources. What are the resources required to run a particular organization? What are the resources required to run a particular organizations? So look at here, man, money, machine, right? And material. These are the four elements which is required to run a particular organizations, and marketing and methods are added later. But minimum four things are required, isn't it? No. And planning. Planning about what, guys? Planning about the effective utilizations, right? And optimizations of resources. So effective utilizations of resources. Now I'll tell you. So if you talk about the definitions, look at here. This is the definitions. So what is this ERP, guys? It's a tool or it's a software which helps an organization to manage their resources effectively and efficiently, right? It ensures the optimum, I mean to say maximum utilization of resources. Which resources, guys? The resources I said here: man, money, material, machines, etc. Now, I'll quote a very simple example. Okay. And if you talk about the example here in my PPT, I have specified the example of a particular company called Tata Motor. So it's not only Tata Motor, guys, any company you can put into picture, right? Take example of any organization. So here I have given the example of, quoted the example of Tata Motor. Now, so if you talk about a particular organization, guys, right? Every organization is required an ERP to run their business, right? To run their business. Why it is required, guys? Okay, I'll tell you. Now, if you talk about Tata Motor, every or any such kind of organizations and all, they'll be having multiple departments, right? Major departments are like sales, purchase, finance and account, and HR department, right? Take example of any one department. Say for example, sales department. Okay. So I'll tell you guys, if you talk about this sales department, there are certain number of employees, right? In sales department, look at here, the total number of employees. How many total number of employees are there, guys? 50, right? Now, out of 50, 25 people required to post day-to-day transactions. Okay, out of 50, 25 people required to post day-to-day transactions, and remaining 25 people required for report preparations, right? This is pre-SAP scenario. Pre-SAP scenario in the sense, like, let's just assume that SAP is not installed in Tata Motor as of now. SAP is not there in Tata Motor, or Tata Motor is not using any ERP. If the ERP is not there, then what will happen, guys? Then people are going to use the registers, because organizations means, of course, like I'll tell you guys, multiple transactions are taking place. Multiple transactions are taking place on daily basis. So what about those transactions, guys? That must be recorded somewhere. So different registers are going to be maintained. If you talk about like some 40 years back, 50 years back, 60 years back, even 30 years back also, right? In big organizations, of course, the, like when you talk about the computer era, right? Some 40 years or 40 years, 35 years, right? So 40 years back, right? So from there onwards, this computer era become prevalent, isn't it? People started using the computers and all instead of maintaining the registers, right? So still small organizations, even 30 years back also small organizations were using registers and all. But good organizations, medium-sized organizations, everybody shifted on this computers and all, right? Okay. So if you talk about like there is no ERP, if there is no ERP in the system, in the sense if there is no any software, then how they are going to manage their business transaction, guys? They are going to manage their business transactions with the help of registers. Sales related, all the, let's suppose transactions are going to be, like what to say, recorded in the sales register. Purchase related transactions are going to be recorded in the purchase registers. Small, what do you say? cash related transactions are going to be recorded in the petty cash registers. Likewise, different registers are going to be maintained. Different ledgers are going to be maintained, isn't it? So yeah, just be on mute. Somebody is there, unmuted the audio, so noise will become. Okay. Now, so now what is happening, guys? Let's suppose Tata Motor decided to use the ERP. Okay, ERP means software. Okay, so it could be any ERP, guys. Now let's suppose if they have decided to use SAP, they have decided to use SAP. So now here, now what is happening? What is the benefit? If they have decided to use SAP, then what is the benefit, right? So look at here. Earlier, before SAP, what is happening? When the SAP was not there, in that case, total how many number of employees are required? 50. And when they started using SAP, then only 25 people are required to manage the sales department, right? These 25 people who involve in report preparation is not required. Okay, so now why it is not required? Because here in ERP, I mean to say in software, so-called SAP or any ERP, so when we are going to, when the employees are going to record the day-to-day transactions, then the multiple reports are getting updated automatically. Why? Because whatever transactions are getting posted, guys, on regular basis. Earlier, the transactions are getting recorded on registers. Now those transactions are going to be posted. Those transactions are going to be posted with the help of ERP. In the sense, it is getting posted in SAP, right? Those transactions are going to be posted in SAP. So here what will happen, guys? If the transactions are going to be posted into SAP, so those transactions are going to be treated as an input. For system, it is going to be treated as an input. And output will be generated by this software, in the sense ERP, automatically, right? If you talk about the what is a calculator, the moment you put 2 plus 2 and if you press equal button, automatically it is going to show you the output, in the sense result 2 plus 2 equals 4, right? 2 plus 3 equals 5. So what is happening? You have given the input 2 plus 3, and if you press equal button, then output, it means result, you are going to get automatically. Likewise here, whatever day-to-day transactions are getting posted, if you have posted, in the sense not you people, not you, I'm talking about like employee of Tata Motor, right? Tata Motor employees. Here if you talk about like day-to-day transactions, multiple transactions will be there. Sales invoices, sales department means multiple sales are taking place on regular basis. So multiple sales related invoices are getting posted on regular basis, isn't it? Now, so if Tata Motor, if their management has to see what is the daily sales, what is their weekly sales, what is their monthly sales, what is their quarterly sales, right? Such kind of report, if they have to see, then what will happen? So they are going to see the reports, isn't it? So it's pretty simple, guys. If SAP was not there, in the sense if ERP was not there, then these reports they used to generate manually. In the sense manually they have to prepare the report, and it is going to take time. Maybe it will take entire day to consolidate the report, because they have to calculate all the transactions and then they are going to prepare a consolidated report manually. But now if they started using SAP, then what will happen, guys? Then manual reports are not required. That they can, now the report can be generated with the help of SAP directly, and within a second it is going to be generated. right? So right now we are in theoretical session. So just you have to assume only. And once I'm going to start the practical session also, the things are going to be pretty simple. Okay. And everything will be simple only, guys, right? Everything are going to be simple if you are able to understand the things, isn't it? So nothing is difficult here. I says every time to all of my students, isn't it? Here, the thing is like if I'm explaining something and if you guys are able to understand, it's well and good, right? And during interview also, what happened when somebody is going to ask the questions and all, right? So I says everybody that if you know that particular topic, then that question is pretty simple for you. And even though the question which is being asked by interviewer, the question is pretty simple, but if you don't know that, then it is going to be very difficult for you to answer, isn't it? So nothing is difficult, guys. It's all depends upon how much you are able to understand the things and all. And from my side, that is why it takes time, but I explain the things in detail so that you guys will be having perfect understanding. Why? Because you're not going to study this SAP just for the job, right? You guys are going to learn this SAP for survival purposes, isn't it? Okay. So now, so I have just quoted the sales department example. So here, like before SAP, what is happening, guys? Total number of how many employees? 50 employees, right? But after installation of SAP, now what is happening? This entire sales department can be managed by only 25 people. Why? Because earlier, out of 50, 25 people involved in day-to-day transaction posting, and remaining 25 people were involved in report preparations. They were preparing the report, as I said, like what is the daily sales, weekly sales, monthly sales, and various other kinds of report also. Let's suppose customer aging reports and all. Now, so now what is happening? Once the SAP is implemented in Tata Motor, then these 25 people is not required. Why? Because now manual report preparation is not required. The report is going to be prepared by SAP directly, automatically, isn't it? So those 25 people can be utilized in some different activity. So look at here, guys. I said here what? I said that what is ERP? So it's a software which helps the organization to manage their resources. Even employees also resource, guys, isn't it? Employees also resource. So this software helps an organizations to manage their resources effectively and efficiently, right? Look at here, it ensures the maximum utilization of the resources. Look at here, guys, the maximum utilization is happening here, right? Earlier 50 people, now only 25 people, isn't it? So maximum utilization means these 25 people only can manage the sales department, remaining 25 people can be used for a different activity. So here maximum utilizations are happening, isn't it? Earlier 50 people alone were managing the sales department. Right now, only 25 people are going to manage the sales department. Remaining 25 people, right, can be used in some different activity. So here maximum utilizations are happening, right? Okay. So this is what even like other examples I always quote, like if you talk about the banking sectors and all, right? There also some 30 years back, right? Maybe even 25 years back in small banks, which was there in villages and all, they were managing their what do you say transactions through they used to maintain mostly the registers only. In the sense, if you talk about the client details, they used to manage and maintain in the registers only. Some 30 years back, if you say 30 years back, 35 years back, or like 25 years back, right? After that, everywhere the computer came. But if you talk about the small banks in village areas and all, they were still using the registers and all. Okay. So if you as a customer, let's suppose, went to the bank, and if you forgotten your passbook at your home, right? And if you're requesting the bank employee that, sir, I forgotten my passbook at home, so I'm not able to remember my account details, right? So if they are going to find out your details in the bank, it will take too much time. Now they are going to search in the registers and all. Okay, in which year your account was open? Are you having any idea? So yes, it was open in so and so year. That is the, I guess your, you know, it's a kind of your assumptions, right? That yes, in so and so year. Are you able to remember the month? Because in that year, maybe every month they have maintained registers, right? So again, they are going to take out that particular registers which belongs to that particular month. So if you say it was maybe some May or June or July, right? So look at here, May, June, July means 3 registers they have to find out. It may take 1 hour also, 2 hours also, isn't it? Now, this was the conditions when they were using, like maintaining the registers and all. Now, if you visit the bank, if you've forgotten your account details and all, no need to worry. You just go to the counter and tell your name plus your email ID. Within a second, your entire details will be there on their system, right? Just tell them your name plus PAN card, PAN details. Your details will be there, isn't it? Your name plus your phone number, your details will be there. Why? Because it's because of its they're using ERP, they're using software, right? So input they are going to give. Input means your name and your phone number they have entered into system. Output is going to be presented by system automatically within a second, isn't it? That is happening because of softwares. They are using certain software, isn't it? If you go to any bank nowadays, everyone is using some different softwares. So because of that, it become very easy. Earlier one, let's suppose customer care executive might be handling some 15-20 customers in a day. Right now, one single customer care executive is going to handle some 500 people in a day. So if you talk about efficiency of the employee, guys, it has increased. And how it has increased? Because of this software, right? One person is able to serve 300, 400 customers alone. So we can say this guy is very efficient. No, it happened because of this software. They are using the software, so very frequently they have searched all the details, and within few seconds they are going to answer your queries. And earlier, what is happening, guys? Manually they have to check the details and all, and it is going to take time. That is the difference. So this is what the benefit of this ERP. This is what the benefit of software, isn't it? Now, so that is the benefit, guys. If you talk about this SAP, not SAP, guys. If you talk about the ERP, what are the leading ERPs are there in the market? Because always what happen? Sometimes people says, so what will happen? What is the future of this SAP? Will it be there after 15 years, 20 years, 30 years? Isn't it? So I'll tell you guys, of course it will be there. If you talk about, I have seen like sometime people calls and they says like, so I was just thinking to switch here, like some different ERP, DevOps or Azure or lots of other different small things are there in the market, isn't it? And the regular basis I'm receiving calls. How is the career in this field? How is the career in that field? I'll tell you guys, such kind of multiple things have came on and gone. If you talk about, I quoted two names, right? If you talk about some 4 years back, you can see a different things were there. Maybe 5 years back, some different things were there. 10 years back, different things were there. And even after 5 years, again these things will be gone and some different things will be coming into picture. But if we talk about SAP, 5 years back also SAP was there and same craze was there. 10 years back also it was there. 20 years back also it was there. Even 30 years back also it was there, isn't it? So this is a consistent performer, right? And day by day it is increasing the places. There was a time when I started my career, right? So if you talk about the market share of this SAP, market share means mostly it is going to be like counted among the like big and medium sized organizations and all, and even whatever like people says Fortune 500 companies, right? So there was a time when out of these all Fortune 500 companies, 30% or 35% of the companies were using this SAP. Nowadays, what is happening, guys? Almost, I think 80%. I have seen long back 80% was maybe now 90% of the company I can say that using this SAP only. I'm talking about Fortune 500, right? And if you talk about overall market share, almost 70% among the large and medium sized organizations. I'm not talking about the small organizations, guys, because small organizations means like let's suppose an organization which is having a turnover of just 100 crore per annum. Those people cannot afford SAP because the expenses itself is going to be made maybe equals to that, isn't it? So it's costly ERP, guys. It's the costliest software you can say. That is why every what do you say organizations cannot afford SAP. Yes, it is a different thing that in order to replace Tally in the market, now SAP has introduced a small like their lighter version also that is called SAP Business One. SAP Business One is for the organizations which is like almost like which is having turnover less than 100 crores and all those people can. Even that is also a bit costly compared to Tally, but they have like what to say introduced that version. But if you talk about SAP guys, it is of course very costly, pretty costly. If somebody is having 5,000, 10,000 crores, 1,000 crores of turnover and all those people can afford this because the cost, maintenance cost, of course, is more. And even if you talk about this SAP guys, if somebody, let's suppose, uh, if any organization has implemented the SAP and all, first of all, they need certain number of consultant for support, right? Because it's a software. What will happen if any problem has taken place? What will happen if any issue has taken place? Who is going to solve this? So of course, it's you people who is going to solve this, right? You guys are consultant. So if Tata Motor is using SAP and let's suppose SAP got implemented, still Tata Motor need to maintain a team of consultant. So either they'll maintain on their payroll or else they will take this support related services from a different organizations, different IT companies, maybe Wipro, Accenture, IBM, such kind of companies. This process also I'll explain in detail, guys, in next session. I'll explain you in detail. Don't worry. Okay, this is just an introduction. That is why I'm just quoting the things, few examples here. And in next session, there will be a topic called SAP types of project. Okay, there I'm going to explain the things in detail. Okay, so what are the leading ERPs in the market, guys? So of course, SAP is there at top rank, and the closest competitor is Oracle Finance. Oracle Finance is having love now. Earlier, 25% share was there. Right now, it is reduced to 12%. Right? So somewhere if the market share of other ERPs are being reduced nowadays, so somebody is eating their market share, right? And who is eating the market share? So of course it's SAP itself because somewhere it was 30% or 40%, now it becomes 70%. So of course it means SAP has acquired the market share of certain ERPs and all, isn't it? So that's what I'm saying, guys. Even what will happen after 100 years that no one knows, right? But if we talk about like in coming future, like 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 30 years, of course, no one is going to beat SAP, right? After 100 years, we don't know. The technology means like it is going to be pretty advanced, right? There might be certain chip or something which is going to fit in the brain of the human body, right? Who knows what will happen? But yes, our career means like how many years you guys are going to work. Maybe some 30 years, 35 years, 40 years is the professional career, right? So of course SAP will be there, so no need to worry about that. Okay. Now, so these are the leading ERP guys: SAP, Oracle Finance, JD Edward, BAN, Epicor, PeopleSoft, Navision, Tally, and like that, lots of small ERPs are there in the market. Okay. Now, if you talk about this SAP guys, so SAP means here also I did receive multiple queries from people. Sometimes people say, so I have to learn this SAP. So I ask like, which module you have to learn, right, in SAP. Sometimes I see like people says, no sir, I have to learn all the modules. Actually guys, it is impossible to become, right, you learn all the modules because huge and huge things are there into SAP. That is why SAP has segregated, like, this entire SAP is going to be segregated in certain module. The way, like, let's suppose if you are in schoolings and all, you have to study all the subjects. But when we go to graduations and all, so what is happening, guys? The honors, if you talk about the subject and all, it is you have to focus on a particular subject. Why? Because you can be expert of a particular subject only, right? So likewise here in SAP also certain modules are there, right? So at broader level it is divided into two part: functional module and technical module, right? Like we are having science, arts, commerce, right? Isn't it? So in arts, let's suppose you will be having some history, geography, right? Civics. These are the uh, different subject which comes under arts. Likewise, math is there, biology is there, right? Comes under science. In bio also you'll be having botany, zoology, like that. So this is how SAP is also this. If you talk about SAP, so it is divided into two module at broader level. That is called functional module and technical module. Okay. Functional module and technical module, I'll specify guys the differences between both later. Automatically you will come to know because lots of explanations are there guys which will come into picture in upcoming session, and so that you guys will be having a perfect understanding. Okay, later classes what will happen, I have to explain certain things, like there will be a topic called types of document. I think there I'll just explain the difference between these two. You'll be having a very perfect understanding, because in a single session it is not possible to explain each and everything. So as of now what is happening guys, entire SAP is going to be segregated in two part: functional module and technical module. What is the differences between functional module and technical module guys? Even practically also you will come to know all the standard configurations, whatever the standard configurations related activities are there, that comes under functional module. And technical module means all enhancement or development related activities comes under technical module. Even other things also associated with technical module. But right now, if I explain, uh, you guys will be confused. So don't worry, explanations will be there. Slowly, it is going to be explained so that you guys will be having perfect understanding. Okay, so it's pretty simple, but it is going to be explained in upcoming session. Now, again, so if you talk about functional module also, you guys are going to learn functional module, not technical module, right? Development is not our part because codings and all you guys don't know, and we are not familiar with that, codings and all, right? So that comes under technical module. Okay. Now in functional module, all the standard configurations. Now the question is, what is this standard configurations, or what is this configurations? So I'll tell you guys, whatever our upcoming sessions are there, initial few classes are theoretical sessions, right? But later on what is happening guys, after for some 3-4 classes, now what will happen, that remaining whatever the sessions are there, all sessions are going to be practical session. Practical session means we have to do lots of configurations. So you guys are going to be very much familiar with the configurations and all, right? If you talk about what is the configurations and all, so all the upcoming session will be there on that only. So don't worry, you guys are going to be expert of that. Okay, I'll explain what is this configurations, and practically we have to see logic behind each and every configurations. See, I'll tell you guys how to do, right? How to do is, it's like not much important. Why to do is important, right? First of all, you have to understand the logic. If we are doing something, why we are doing something. If you know these things, then you guys are going to become a consultant, right? If you don't know the logic, then what will happen? I get multiple call on regular basis. that I have done this SAP, I have learned this SAP by watching the YouTube videos and all, right? Now I want to go for interview. Can you help me out? When I ask some 4 or 5 questions, basic questions, guys, they are unable to answer. So what is the benefit of learning those things? Simply they know all the configurations, but they don't know the logic. They keep on doing all the configurations, but they don't know the logic. What is the use of those configurations? What exactly controls are there? They don't know. So if they don't know, there is no use, right? And it is impossible to become a consultant even if they keep on practicing for 10 years or 15 years or 20 years also, isn't it? So here we have to focus on the logic, right? And that I'll explain. So here functional module means multiple modules are there. FI is there. FI stands for finance. Controlling, it means CO. Likewise, M module, that is called material management. SD module, HR module, right? So these are the functional module, and even multiple other functional modules are also there, guys. PP is there, PM is there, PS is there, right? Several functional modules are there. And these all modules also you guys will come to know slowly, because in upcoming session, even we will be having integration also with certain modules. So those things also I'll explain in the upcoming session, guys. Okay. And technical module means ABAP module and basis module. What is the work of this ABAP? What is the work of this basis? That also briefly I'll explain. Okay. And automatically it will come into picture, guys, when I started explaining the things, right? So automatically this will also come into picture, and then what will happen? You'll be having idea about these modules also little bit. I'm not talking about like that you guys are going to be expert of ABAP and basis, because that is huge, and huge things are there to learn, right? But you will be having idea that what exactly ABAP is going to do, what exactly basis is going to do, what is their roles. That also you guys will come to know. Okay. So these are the different modules in SAP. Okay. Now, generally what happened once you become SAP consultant, when you become SAP consultant, then what is happening, guys? What is your work? So mostly you guys are going to be part of a particular project. You guys are going to be part of particular project, in the sense, like when you're going to join a particular organization as a consultant, then you're going to be part of particular project. So what will happen? On that project, you have to work. But if you talk about, like, let's suppose, uh, like what activity you have to perform, because most likely, most of you might be having these questions, that what will happen if I become SAP consultant? What kind of work we are going to do? So I'll tell you guys exactly in a single session. It is not possible to explain what kind of work you guys are going to do. But slowly, once we proceed further in upcoming session and all, right? So automatically you guys will come to know that what exactly you have to perform over there, and this is how you guys are going to become comfortable, isn't it? So when you talk about, like, once you become SAP consultant, then you guys are going to be a part of particular project. Now, this, if you talk about the projects, so these projects are also going to be segregated in certain part. 4 types of projects it will be there, guys. That is called implementations, rollout, support, right? And what to say, this upgradations, that is also called enhancement and all, right? So in next session, what is happening, I'm going to explain the types of SAP project in detail. Okay. So next session, I'm going to explain about those things. Okay. So what I'll do, guys, this is just an introduction session. So I'll stop this session here itself. So that's all in this session, guys, and that's all for today.